Hey everyone, in this video we're gonna teach you as a main tutorial how to use Google Drive. Now, as an introduction to Google Drive, most of you may know Google Drive is Google's cloud service that allows you to have almost 15 gigabytes, as you can see, 15 gigabytes of data stored on Google server, and it offers a lot of features that many people would find useful. For starters, many of the apps that they offer can be saved and located on Google Drive, and you can use them with no extra charge. It's completely free. The main feature that people like for the most part is that whatever changes you apply or whatever files you create or whatever thing you may work on, it will be synced. It will be on Google server and you have access to it across multiple platforms. So that could be your phone, your PC, your tablet, whatever it is. You're able to access it and you can edit it with no problem. So that's the main feature and driveway, the main reason that people use. So we're starting with a completely blank slate, with a completely blank Google Drive, just to show you from the basics, like what are the features, what can you do, and so on. This is your drive. As you can see, the title says My Drive. So what sort of files, for starters, we can use here? I have no files here, so what are some of the ways where I can insert a certain number of files on this platform? Well, the first one is you can actually import files from your PC onto here. What do we mean by that? By that we mean that you may have an important document, a picture, a doc file, a text, a PDF, whatever it is, spreadsheet. You can drag it from your PC and literally just like put it here. Let's do that as an example. As an example, I want to import a PDF here so I can have a file as a test. There are two ways I can go about doing this. So the first one is I right click here and then I go to upload files. Now pay attention, you can upload both files and folders. So what is the file that I want to import into my Google Drive? So as you can see, I've got a little PDF here. So here's what I will do. I will create a new folder called Files. Okay, and then I'm going to take this exact same file that I have. I'm going to copy it and put it on here. So we have two files. We have this with the PDF inside, and we have the actual PDF. Now, let's go back to Google Drive. So, one way where I can import this file into my main section is that I can click Upload File. And as you can see, I have the chance to import the PDF file. But I can't upload the folder. Okay, so you can only upload files with this option. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. As you can see, the file is uploaded. Let's open it up. So how do you open it up? Well, you can click on the file once, and you have this icon called Preview. Now, Preview, what is Preview is you can access the file, but it's not opening up the file in that sense. So, if you want to view the file, you can double click on it, or you can click View. Don't mind these other options, I'm going to tell you in a second. Now, another way that you can import both file and folders into your devices, let's do a folder now. Again, right click, folder. So now I'm going to get the folder. This is not the file anymore. This will upload all files from the folder files. Do you do this only if you trust the site? Of course you do, so we're going to click on upload. Now, so you see, now I have a file and I have the folder, right? And the file is also inside. Is this the right file? Yes. If you double click, you will see that it is. Yeah, there we go. So far we've learned how to import a file and a folder onto Google Drive. Now, there is another way where you can do this. There is another way that you can upload a file or a folder onto your Google Drive. I'm just going to drag this here. Now, so as you can see, you can drag and drop. And by drag and drop, what we really mean, of course, is that you could just take the file and then put it here. Now, this is a good exercise. Duplicate file upload. You already have a version of this file in Drive. A new version has been attached to the original. So, as you can see, I have two versions now. See? I have two versions. I can keep it as a separate file, in which case a duplicate is created, okay? Or you could just keep it as attached. So far we've learned how to drag and drop a file, upload using right click for both file and folder. We've also learned how to duplicate a file, which you don't necessarily have to do if you've made a mistake, but you always have that option. Now, this is just regarding files. I will show you in a second that you will also get the same function for folders. So I'm going to take this folder and I'm just going to drag it here. Again, file matches an existing item in this folder. Update the existing item and any additional matches with your uploads. Keep separate, update existing. So I can create a separate file, or I can update the existing file, which is going to copy and replace the file that I have. So I'm not going to duplicate the folder. Okay, so far, we've got a couple of files here, all good and nice. It's decent and manageable. Now, let's see. Maybe we don't want to upload a file to this folder. Maybe we want to create certain files ourselves. How does that one work? Well, actually, it's fairly simple. There are a number of files that you can use on Google Drive, but if you want to create them originally, there is a couple of ways where you can do it. So, first of all, you can create a folder. So I'm going to say Drive default folder. Okay? And then, where does that folder go? It goes right here. So you have a clear line between folder and file, and it exists right here. And it exists right here. Now, let's go inside one of these folders. Doesn't really matter. Again, we can drop files here or use the new button. So let's use the new button. We use the new button to create one folder, which we're inside it. Now let's create an actual fresh file using Google Drive. How does that work? Well, you have a couple of options. Let's go through some of them, the necessary ones anyway. The main four features that are used generally is Google Docs, which is basically a Word file or a doc file or docx file. Google Sheets, which is basically a spreadsheet that you can use for organizing stuff. Google Slides, that's the one that people use for presentations. And Google Forms, which is, of course, a form that you can design on your own terms. The other ones, you have Google Drawing, Google My Maps, Google Sites, AppScript, and Jamboards. I'm not gonna go through those. They're a little bit more, they're a little less mainstream, so if you're interested in those, you can look them up. And it's mostly used for drawings and stats and things like that. You also have the connection to connect more apps. I'm just going to show you briefly in case you're interested. Because Google has a lot of free apps and they give you access to them. You can attach all these different apps. Create PDFs, sketchboards, themes, merging stuff, audio, whatever it is, you may want to bring those in. Up to you. We're not going to cover them here. So let's create our first actual file on Google Drive. I'm going to go with Google Docs. Now, as you can see, if you go over Google Docs, you can outline create a Google Docs, or you can go on this little arrow and you get two options. So you get a blank document, or you can create one from a template. Let's cover blank document first because it's easier. Okay, so this is our first, we got a new tool in. This is our first Google Doc file. What are some of the features that are offered here? Obviously, I'm not going to go through everything that Google Docs has to offer, but I'm going to tell you just some basics in case you need them. First things first. Whatever you do here is instantly saved. How do we know it's saved? Let's give it a title first. If you want to give your file a title, so it's not like it doesn't get lost across all the clutter and all the stuff that you do, is you're going to have to name it. So I'm going to name it First Document. Okay, and then you press enter. Voila, the save is done. Okay, there you go. Now, you see that little icon right there, see document status? That is how you know your progress is saved. One of the great things about Google Drive, one of the main reasons that a lot of people use it, is exactly this feature. And by that I mean people use this device because it literally saves their work by the second. So let's see how this works. So I'm gonna type hello there everyone. Now you see the moment I type it, see it says saving and save to drive. Now as you're typing the text, you're gonna see this. So I'm just gonna write a little bit more. Pay attention right here. I hope. There you go. See, when I finish the phrase, it's completely like synced or saved to the drive. I hope that you are having a great day. So this is the main feature of Google Drive, which is whatever change you make, it's instantly going to be synchronized. Google Docs has a lot of features. We're not going to cover all of those here, obviously, but I'm going to walk through you some of the major ones that might be useful to you. First one, always check add-ons. Okay, add-ons are features that the default editor might not have, so you may want to look on those if you're in need of something. You have all sorts of features here: spelling and grammar check, paint format. You can change the style of the font. You can change the font itself, bigger or lower. So let's try that. So pretty straightforward. You have everything else. Now I'm not gonna show you a lot of editorial features, but I'm gonna show you how you can use this type file in the most basic sense. I'm just gonna cover a couple of items from the file section. So first thing first, this is what you don't have on most softwares, which is share. So when we click share, what do we get? Aha. Okay, so as you can see, again, one of the reasons that people love Google Drive is that they can use this feature to their heart's content. And what this feature does, it allows you to share the document with other people who also use Google Drive. There are two ways that you can do this. One is you enter an email right here, and then the document will be shared with that person. How do you do this? You enter their Gmail. So let me give you an example. So let's say you know your coworker or your friend or your boss's address. You have a document you want to share it with them. So you're going to click on this. Guys, one thing is very important here. We haven't sent the documents here. So you have a couple of options here. Let's go through them. First of all, What is their role? Are they going to be an editor? By that we mean that they can actually edit your text. Maybe you don't want to give that capability to someone. They can basically co-write the text with you. The other one is commentator, which is they can read your text and they can give you notes. And actually we're going to go through notes at the moment. I'm going to teach you how to make notes. And you also have viewer, which is all they can do is read your text. So make sure you know what you're doing there before sending it away. And then, if you want them, you can write a message. This is the document that they'll be viewing. And then you can click send. Notice when you check notify, they're going to get an email. They'll accept the request and they will be able to view your document. The next one is, again, maybe you want to create a new document. Open. What do you mean by open? Let's have a look. Well, these are all the files that you have on your folder. Can we open PDFs? Well, apparently not. So if you'd have another doc, you'd be able to open it in this file. The other one that's important, make a copy. So we're going to create an exact copy of this file. You can title it same thing, copy of first document. So it's a copy of this device, and you can also tell it which folder to save. So I don't want it to be saved on my folder. I'm going to give it to the main drive. So share it with the same people. So I just shared the document with somebody. Maybe I want that person to have access to that document or not. I can specify here. Copy, comments, and suggestions, which I'm going to show you right now. You can also have both of those carry over. You can click these or not click these. You also have include resolved comments and suggestions. Up to you, you can do that. So let's copy it. So this is the copy of the first document. And if we visit our document, you will see that there you go. Here's the copy of the first document. And this is the first document. The way you access docs is different from PDF. If you remember from PDF, we just went over it and then we clicked this. But with document, you can actually edit the file, whereas in PDF you can't. So what you can do to access it is double click, and then you're on the folder. Now on to the most important feature of file, and that is email and download. This is very important. You can directly email the file that you're working on with no strings attached. Okay? So let's try that. Very simple. You enter the email here. I can send it. So subject first document. You can literally convert the file you just sent to any of these formats that you want. Here you write your email address. You click send. The email is away. So let's try that. Hello, this is the latest version of my document. You could also choose not to attach. And the content will be included in the email. And what that means is the content of your file is going to be included here. So %. If you want it attached, of course you remove the tick. You can also not email. Maybe you want to have an offline version of this file. So these are all the formats that you can export it. How does it work? Very simple. Whatever you want it as. Let's do it as PDF. So you get an idea. There you go. I get the PDF version. As you can see, here is the PDF version. If I want the docs version, we're just going to do two. Two is enough. There you go. So, using file, you can download this file. What is this version history? So let's check that out. It is actually very interesting. So these are, what are they? I wonder if you can tell. Let me show you. These are the changes that you make to your document, and you can resolve them or revert them back. So if I want this to be my current version, I will say restore this version. What is there in this version? As you can see, nothing. This is before we started writing anything. So I'm going to say restore this version. Yes. And as you can see now, my document is back to step 1. So that is what we mean when we say version history. Rename, of course, you get to change the title of the name. Move, you can move this folder if you want to organize your drive to another place. I can place it in the files folder. We're going to move it there. So that's that. Add shortcut to drive. You can do this. We haven't offered a couple of options, but this is not really necessary. You could try that on yourself. Move to trash is you deleting the file. I'm also going to teach you how to do that in the main interface. Publish to the website, you publish it directly to the website. Document details, language is the language of your document, and page setup. These are whatever you need on the margin, dimensions, whatever you want. We're not really going to go into that. So I'm just going to cover this section because the other ones aren't really related to Drive. More to do with the actual way you write the document itself. So let me also teach you a couple of stuff that has to do with the doc format itself. If you click just once on the doc format, you get a couple of options, most of which we've explained them. So, first one is get link. Now, what is the use of getting link? It is basically the share feature, except you can give whoever you want a link to your document if you wish so. So this is the link to our document right here. You don't need to select it. You can just click copy link. The link will be copied. Also, make sure before you share the link to know what sort of access your document has. So if anyone with a link can access it, that's different. If it's restricted, then that is also different. What's the difference? Only people added can open with this link. So you need to add those people before. But with this option, whoever has the link can view the document. And then, as usual, don't forget to give them the right moderating capabilities that you want for that person to have. So this is the share button. We also covered this one before. Same, I explained it before. You can also get the link from here. So they're both same view. Preview, if you've got a PDF, you can do something different with it. I'm going to teach you down the line, so just have it in mind. But with with Google Documents, you can have a preview, and then in order to access it, you can double click. Now, as you can see, I have one copy of first document open. So let me tell you about this. This is interesting. Let's imagine you have this file open on your PC, and you also have it open on your Android at the same time. The other open window is going to show up as this little colored cursor here. Now, I don't have this file open on my tablet or on my phone, but I have another version open right here. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to put the cursor here, and I'm going to write, hey, it's me. Now, if I go to the other, as you can see, the cursor is there. So this cursor is actually the one we have open right here, and vice versa. This is to let you know if somebody else changes it, or you know if two people are in the same document, you'll know who's who. If you also hover over it, you'll know who is that cursor and what are they doing, so you can keep track of that. Now let's go back to other features. So remove, if we remove this, it's going to go to trash. As you can see, when something is in trash, very similar to recycle bin, you have the choice to either restore it or delete it forever. If you restore it, it'll end up back on drive, and if you delete it, then of course it is deleted forever. I'm going to delete this forever. You'll get a warning, delete forever. What is some other options that we have? Let me open a doc to show. Oh, no, nothing here. Okay, let's go here. So, what else is there? Let's open this one up. Show file location. Well, obviously we know what our file location is, but maybe your drive is messy and there's a lot of stuff, so you get the location that is, where is the file. So another feature that you may want to well, it's very important to know about is another feature that you might want to know about is the add to start. So what is start? Let's try and see what is start. So we're gonna click on add to start, and what is start? So while you're working on Google Drive, you may have certain documents. You may not be in the mood to categorize them or put them in a specific folder, or for whatever reason you might think they're very important, so you always want to know where are they and instantly find them. And that's actually very important to have something like that. So basically you can categorize those folders as start, and that way they will always be able to quickly categorize and easily organizable. Okay, so as you can see, we have this category called start. Okay, and I'm just show you, just so you have a better understanding, I'm gonna categorize two folders and I'm gonna add them to start. So I'm gonna add first document. Let's make it 3. Let's do 3. Whereas no, this one is already added. So let's make a new doc. We're gonna title it not important and whatever. Now when you go back to Google Docs, we're gonna do a refresh. So as you can see, I have 3 files here. You have first document, you have non-important, you have archetype. So I've started 2 of them. When I go to start, I have both of these documents wherever they are. It doesn't matter if they're in a folder, if they're somewhere else, they're always going to be there. So let me move one of these so you have a good idea. Let's move first document. Let's move first document to drive default folder. Again, see, in start, it doesn't even matter if I've moved the location of the file. It's always going to be in the start section. So when you star basically a folder on Google Drive, you can always go here and that file will always show up. Let's remove one from star so you get a better idea. Where is archetype 1? So this archetype 1 is start, so I'm going to remove it from start. One file removed from start, and now as you can see I only have first documents. So whatever document that it's important to you or it matters to you, you can start that document and you will easily be able to access it in your start section. Rename, of course we've talked about that before. View details, you're going to get some information about where it was created, who was it created by, where is it, what's the storage, blah blah blah. If you want to close it, you simply add close. You're also able to visit details by pressing this little icon right here. So you see, that's details. Do you have anything else here? We have remove, download. You can directly download the folder, but of course you don't get to choose the format, so you'll be downloading it as docs, as you can see. Do you have anything else here? I would reckon not really. Report abuse, this is our deal. You also have this button called list view, where you can have different type of ways of viewing your file. It doesn't really matter. Now guys, after you've been working with your Google Drive for a while, you're gonna get quick access. As you can see, quick access is the latest 3 files that you've accessed. So you don't have to go and look for them. If they're frequent files that you update or whatever, you can just simply click on them, done. Now that we've covered both document and anything else, like all the other stuff, let's go through some of the other files that you can create. So we have Google Sheets. Let's create a Google Sheet. We're just going to go through it so you know how it works. I'm not going to teach you how sheets work specifically. Let's name it first Spreadsheet. Okay, so again you have the instant sync here. You have the move option here. You can start it right from here. So I've started the first spreadsheet. Let's go to our start section. As you can see, it's here, same features. File, you have share, new, import, make a copy. All of the stuff that we covered before are also here. You also get the same thing with Google Slides. Although with Google Slide there is a tiny bit different in terms of downloads, and that is what you need to you can download the current slide. So if you have like 3 or 4 slides, you can download the singular slides as JPEG, PNG, and scalable vector graphics. That's a specific slide format, but you will get just that one picture that you have. You can download them as plain text, but you'll be losing the way the slide looks. PDF, which is going to just turn out like PDF documents. ODP and Microsoft PowerPoints are the 2 formats that you can use to actually have your presentation presentable on another device that runs them. So have those in mind. Other than that, we basically have the same options that we've had before. You could also print your folders and files, whatever it is. You'll get a pre-printable PDF, and that is good to go. Now, let's go over some other main features as well that some people really don't know about, but could be useful nonetheless. You can set Google Drive for your desktop. Maybe we'll cover that in another video, but I would recommend the web version regardless. You do have Google Docs and Spreadsheet and all that other good stuff on PC. You can get those if you want to using the settings. As you can see, fairly simple things. You can convert your uploads, notification is all there, manage apps, and the mundane stuff. We don't really go about it. The three things that I wanted to point out to you is that while you're on Google Drive, you have access to your calendar. And again, calendar is a separate app on the Google services, but what you can do on your calendar is you can add events. So if this app is an important part of your workspace, you will be able to view what appointments or events you have. So I'm going to create an event. So let's say I'm going to say finish up writing, and I'm going to say you can adjust it. I'm going to say today's good. I'm going to say 8:30 p.m. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. And then I'm going to save it. So as you can see, on Thursday, December 17th, which is today for me, I have to finish up all my writings. You can add recurring events, you can ask specific events, you can add guests, so if you're involving somebody else with that, they'll be able to meet. You can add Google Meetings, location, description, icons, statuses, and all that stuff. All of those are available to you. You can quickly access them from here. So that is Google Calendar. That's the first one right here. You have Google Keep, which is another separate Google application that allows you to take notes. As you can see, it works from it works on Android devices, iPhone and iPad, web app, and Chrome extensions. So what does this do? You can simply take notes and you can put them on your account. So I'm going to say remember 1, text 3, whatever, okay? And then you're able to access note early on. You can also pin your notes, so they never go down. So if I take a couple of other ones, test, hey, done. See, if I pin them, it goes up, right? If I unpin it, and then I pin this one, it goes up. So pin makes it stay up there. Again, this is uploaded and synced with all of the devices that have the Keep app. So have that in mind. Final one, tasks. These are things that you have to do regardless of time, as opposed to calendar. So let me give you an example. So we're going to add a task. I'll say meet John, for example. No. Meet John, right? You can also add subtasks. Meet him in the restaurant. Okay? So you get all of that good stuff. Very fun and nice. You can also add new tasks if you want to. And again, all of these will be synced with all your devices that uses this app. So I'm going to say finish the laundry. Okay, for example. So now let's say I've finished laundry. I've met John. Okay, all your tasks and stuff. So you can sync all of these across everything. One final thing that I'm going to teach you is it has to do with Google Docs and something else about the folders. So let's go through folders. Let's see if we've missed anything. Again, as you can see, if you right click on the folders, you get all the stuff that we talked about, except you can change the color of folders. So how does this work? See? Different color. Let's do it again. So why do we need this? Well, this is actually a good feature that helps you organize all the different sort of things that you may want to do, and you may want to organize your files so they look different and they stand out from other folders. Maybe you could code red as like accounting and blue as marketing or whatever, that sort of function. That is very important. Let's also go over templates, which as you can see, majority of the apps that you use have templates. These are templates that Google makes available to you. There is also more templates that you can search for. As you can see, you have plenty of templates. You have add-ons that give you templates. So there's plenty to choose from. I'll go with resume, for example. Okay, it's not really that big of a deal, but whatever. So all of these sections okay. So as you can see, you could easily edit the title. You've got titles here. I won't go through them because those don't really have to do with what we want. I'm also going to teach you how to comment. So as you can see, we have the document here. You have this little dialog icon called for comments. So you can comment on the text. Okay, so how does comment work? I select a bit. See, I don't have select. When I select a bit, you see that little two things show up here again. Select a bit, two things. So what are they? One is add a comment. One of is suggest edits. So add a comment is, I think it's the wrong word to use. See, it shows up right here, right? Whenever you click on that, the comment moves just a little bit. See, it moves a little bit. Now, maybe you change the word. You change the word to something else, whatever, and then you fix that. So and then the comment goes away. Let's try suggest edits. You can maybe suggest like a bold font. As you can see, it shows up at what I did. All right, so whenever they click that, the suggestion is bold font. Let's try another one. Suggest edit. I'm gonna say, so font size, right? I'm not writing anything in words, but I'm giving them the instruction to do this. And again, after they do that, I increase font, and then you can make it go away. You can access all of these in the notification section. You can see the history of that. So that is just a little tiny tip, which isn't really that difficult, but can be handy to you. You can also get plenty of more add-ons. I'm not going to explain them here, but there's tons and tons and tons that you can get with different functions that you can add here. I will also note that all the functions are available still from here. Okay, so that concludes our Google Drive tutorial. I hope it was useful to you, and we will see you later. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, please make sure to click thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out similar videos like this, if you're interested. And if you have any questions, ask them in the comments section. I will see you later. Bye bye.